Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and this evening we'll have a look at the latest from the GFS, the GM, the ECMWF, the GFS Ensembles, and we'll finish up having a look at the UK Met Office run as well. Now we're going to be seeing a lot of up and down conditions over the next few weeks as we've got a very amplified jet stream. We're going to be seeing some wet and windy weather. We might even see some quite warm weather, especially over the next couple of days with southwesterly winds, but we'll also be seeing some northerly winds at times, polar air masses moving through like one at the end of this week. We also, in the extended range, can now see what we could be looking at for Halloween. And when we have a look at this latest GFS, you'll see it's not particularly encouraging if you want to be out trick-or-treating, as it does look like it could be very stormy. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and do remember to follow on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So if we do run through the latest GFS, you can see at the moment we are starting to pull up southwesterly winds. Now we've had a bit of rain over the course of the UK at the moment, as even though we do have a ridge of high pressure over us, it's still not particularly strong ridge. It's a bit of a flimsy ridge, so we're still seeing some showers and rain develop in a few spots throughout today. Generally lighter rain, but it has been pretty miserable where you have seen some of this rain. But generally, that rain is now starting to clear, and it's just a few patchy showers across sort of Scotland and eastern areas as well. Now, when this low pressure eventually pushes through tomorrow, initially with its weather front, its warm front, it's going to bring quite a lot of rain. But as it spreads through tomorrow, it will weaken. So the eastern and southern extent of the weather front is still a little bit uncertain. And we'll have a look at the UK Met Office run at the end, and that'll give us a better idea. But it does push up some quite warm air initially. And we could be seeing in the east potentially 20 degrees through Monday or Tuesday. But for many areas, there'll still be a lot of cloud, rain around it. Those warmer temperatures will really be exclusively where we see a little bit of sunshine. Elsewhere, it'll be cloudy, rain around, some drizzle, feeling a little bit muggy as well. Now, the low eventually does push right through Wednesday and Thursday, so more rain around, especially towards the centre of the low. And then we pull down quite a cold northerly wind. Now, it's not bitterly cold, because, of course, it is end of October now. But it is chilly polar air mass, and temperatures in the day may only be struggling around 7, 8, 9 degrees potentially, and even colder than that over Scotland. We could even be seeing some snow over some Scottish mountains as well, and maybe some frost as well. Beyond that, we see an isolated ridge, well, sort of brief ridge, and then we see, again, a bit of a split. We see high pressure trying to build up from the south and east, but low pressure pushing in off the Atlantic. Could turn dry for a period in the south. However, as we head towards the end of October, as we head towards Halloween, you can see it goes very, very stormy indeed for Halloween night. So for early hours of Monday, the 1st of November, overnight Halloween into the 1st of November, it is looking very, very, very unsettled, potentially even a named storm here as it does move through. And right towards the end, we do have a very amplified jet stream. High pressure pushing up towards Greenland, then dipping southwards towards the UK, and we just got this big lobe of low pressure just sitting over the UK. It's quite chilly around, particularly warm air underneath that, and a lot of rain as well. Now, it is an extended range, it's beyond 10 days, so it is subject to a lot of change, but on this latest GFS, it is looking a little bit stormy, and that's not something that's kind of what we would be expecting with the sort of pattern we're seeing at the moment. It's not really out of the ordinary with this big amplified jet stream. But of course, it is still subject to some change. We'll have to see exactly what happens when it comes into the short-range models or short-range time frame within the next sort of 5 or so days. If we do have a look at the GM, see how that's compared to day 10, you can see at the moment southwesterly winds pushing up warm air, and then that low moves through, and then we see that direct northerly pretty chilly air spreads through the whole country, especially over Scotland, where we can see a few snow showers around, and then we see another low pressure system move in, and then again we have this split with high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, but that high does not push as far northwards as we did see on the GFS. So it's more unsettled for all, and you can still see the amplified jet stream, high pressure pushing up towards northern Canada. It does mean we're going to be seeing more and more rounds of low pressure, with warmer sectors, colder sectors, unsettled conditions for towards the end of October. If we now have a look at the ECMWF, see how that does compare up to day 10. Again, very similar over the next few days with southwesterly winds. Northerly wind pushes through Thursday and Friday. Quite chilly air mass, of course, and then more low pressure. And once again, that high is not as far north as the GFS. Still getting into maybe the far southwest, so we could be seeing some dry conditions for a time in about 10 days' time. But generally further northwards, more low pressure, westerly winds, so potentially for seeing some stationary weather fronts. And you can see out in the North Atlantic towards Iceland, low pressure is gathering. So it does look like it's going to be pushing through, ready for Halloween weekend. So not looking particularly promising. So we do now have a look at the GFS Ensembles, which at the moment only go out to 30th of October. It hasn't quite fully updated the 12Z run yet. But you can see for London at the moment, it's pretty warm with those southwesterly winds pushing up. A lot of rain, cloud around for some, so it's not going to be feeling that warm. But we do see the dry conditions, of course. Temperatures may get up to maybe high teens, maybe 20 degrees. A lot of precipitation over the next 5 days or so, but coming at times when the weather fronts do push through. You can see towards the middle of this coming week, we see a big cold front sweep through. Temperatures dropping by maybe 15 degrees AM50 HPA, down from 12 degrees, maybe down to sort of -3, -4 maybe, depending on exactly what does come off in terms of the air mass, but a good sort of 5, 6, 7, 8 degrees below average come the end of this week into Friday, Saturday. Beyond that, temperatures do start to rise again, back above average. Precipitation signals weaken a little bit, but that's because we have that potential high pressure trying to push up from the south. But for generally areas further in the Midlands and northern England into Scotland is going to be unsettled with a lot of rain around. And even though those warmer upper air temperatures are pushing in, it's not going to be feeling particularly warm at all with westerly winds. If we do go back to the 6Z run, just have a look in the extended range, you can see still a lot of unsettled conditions and temperatures a little bit all over the place for Halloween and the start of November. But it doesn't look like there's any definitive signal of anything dry. No definitive signal it's going to be really unsettled, but I would probably weigh towards the unsettled side at this stage. If we have a look at the sea level pressure all the way up to the 30th of October, you can see at the moment sort of a weak high pressure before low pressure really moves through towards the end of this week as we see the cold front sweeps through with the northerly wind. Pressure then does rise, and there's a weak high pressure on most of the ensemble runs. Some going much lower, some going a little bit higher, but that is all down to what happens with that high pressure pushing up from the south. You can see the GFS Operational Run is the run with the highest pressure around the 27th, 28th, 29th of October, and that's simply because we saw that high pressure pushing up further northwards, and you can see that didn't sort of come off in the GM or ECMWF, so it does look like that was a bit of an outlier with the strength of that high pressure, and it does look like it's dipping for 30th October into the Halloween weekend, so it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing anything massively dry, no real signal of any massive high pressure. So at this stage, low pressure does look like the most likely scenario. If we have a look at the sea level pressure, you can see for Glasgow, you can see weak high pressure at the moment really dropping quite quickly down to around 990 or less millibars towards sort of the middle of this week as the low pressure moves through. Then high pressure pushes up once again as we see a brief ridge, and then generally it goes to a weak low pressure. Again, GFS operational, bit of an outlier with higher pressure, majority going around 1,000 to 1,010 millibars, which is not really deep low pressure, but it is lower pressure, so it's going to be showers around, cloud and weather fronts, and you can see all the way to 30th of October that signal continues, and if not starting to trend lower as we head towards Halloween. If we look at the 850 HPA temperature and precipitation, you can see at the moment quite warm upper air temperatures, but similar to London, a massive cold front moves through, potentially a 15-degree drop down to maybe -5 850 HPA, accompanied by a lot of rain and the potential for a few snow showers over the hills. I wouldn't expect any to low-lying areas, maybe a frost in a few spots, but I wouldn't expect any winters down to low levels at this time, but it may be pretty chilly with some cold rain. Beyond that, temperatures return to around average or just maybe a touch above average as we have westerly winds moving in and a lot of precipitation around, looking quite unsettled, if not a little bit stormy for the end of October, which is not out of the ordinary, of course, for the middle of autumn. We've been pretty lucky over the last month or so with the amount of high pressure and dry weather we've seen, especially in the south. But it does look like that may end as we see a lot more low pressure moving through at times. Now, it's not going to be an absolute deluge all the time. it is likely these will band up into specific low pressures, but at this sort of resolution, in this sort of time frame, the ensembles haven't quite agreed on the time frame of each of these lows, so it's sort of coming into a massive rain, whereas actually these will be maybe 2, 3, 4 independent low pressure systems that bring their weather fronts through. So it's not going to be raining all the time, but it does look like there will be periods of rain around. It doesn't look like anything is going to be definitively dry. Now, if you finally do have a look at the UK Met Office run, have a look at rain, you can see some rain moving through this morning, but it diminished over the course of the afternoon, and we've still got a few showers and maybe some drizzly rain around this evening. Now, as we head through to tomorrow morning, you see rain arriving from the west, a weaker front, but rain nevertheless to Scotland, not particularly strong across the Midlands or England in general, or even Wales, southwestern areas, maybe a bit more heavy rain. As we head through to Tuesday early morning, you see the low pressure centre of low starting to come through as you see more heavy, showery rain push through. All areas will be seeing a soaking at times, maybe some really quite heavy rain through Tuesday evening across England, Wales, especially across the south as well, and more heavy rain spreading through Wednesday. It definitely looks like across the south we could be seeing quite a lot of heavy bands of rain before the wind veers northerly, and we could be seeing some snow over the tops of the mountain. You can see a few whiter specks there over the tops of the mountains, and generally northerly airflow. Showers down the east coast, maybe down the Pembrokeshire streamer may set up, which is where we see a northerly wind. We could be seeing some showers down there through western parts of Wales, down to southwest England, and just generally a smattering of showers coming in off the North Atlantic, the North Sea, and the Irish Sea as well. A typical unsettled, cold, northerly flow. Now, if we do finally have a look at max temperatures, see what we'll be seeing over the next 5 days. You can see this afternoon temperatures peaked around 15, 16 degrees, so decent across England and Wales, across Ireland as well. But where we did see cloud and rain, it wasn't feeling particularly pleasant. Through Monday afternoon, we could be seeing temperatures potentially getting up towards 17, 18, maybe 19 or 20 degrees across Ireland, as we do see some drier periods, but where we see the rain, it will be cooler than that. As we head through to Tuesday afternoon, probably the best day of the week where we do escape the rain. I must say that we do escape the rain, it will be decent temperatures, maybe 18, 19 or even 20 degrees possible again. But where we do see the rain, even though the actual temperatures might be 15, 16, 17 degrees, it's going to be feeling a little bit colder than that. As we head through to Wednesday afternoon, you can start to see the cold front appearing in the north. Still 15, 16 degrees in the far southeast. Only 6, 7 degrees across Scotland. And as that cold front really does sweep through by Thursday in the afternoon, many areas across England and Wales, maybe only 9, 10 degrees. A few spots maybe getting 12 or 13 degrees. And across Scotland, mid-afternoon, mid to low single digits potentially. In a few areas, 4, 5, 6 degrees, maybe 8 or 9 degrees for some coastal areas. We've got a bit more of a sea breeze bringing some milder air, but feeling really quite chilly. And as we head through to early hours of Friday, you can see widespread mid to low single digits, 4, 5, 6 degrees possible across northern England, maybe freezing, maybe a frost, and in many parts of Scotland, the potential for it to dip to freezing, if not a little bit below that across some areas in central Scotland. So it does look like a chilly Friday, or Thursday into Friday is coming, with the low temperatures, with the daytime temperatures Thursday pretty chilly. Overnight temperatures are really quite cold, maybe the coldest we've had widely this autumn so far, and Friday is going to look like a pretty chilly day as well. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.